Good evening, everyone. We are ready to get started. You can take your seat or take a seat, whatever works. Good evening. I know it's been a long day. Good evening. All right. I was a little confused. I thought I might have to start singing the national anthem. You all may be seated. I think I did enough singing at an event last week, but we're going to leave that alone. That is not why we are here. Good evening and welcome to this wonderful, wonderful celebration. I am so happy to see members of the Gateway family from the campus, from our foundation, and from our Gateway family in the community in attendance, as well as many other distinguished guests. As we move through our program today, you'll be hearing some wonderful accolades about our VIP guest of honor. That's very, 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 very important person, guest of honor, and the woman of the hour, and as far as Gateway is concerned, the woman of the decade, 2 decades, I'm not quite sure, but quite a long time, our very own LindyLee Gold. What Lindy's leadership and vision and the $250,000 gift from the Amour Propre Foundation Fund is a result of that leadership and vision. What that will do for Gateway students now and in the future is immeasurable and incalculable. The Center for Counseling and Wellness provides wraparound services that help support and heal our students in mind, body, and spirit. The pandemic of the past 2 years has placed enormous additional pressures and burdens on all of us, but especially our students, many of whom already deal with challenges in their lives. As an educator who is a trained clinical psychologist, I know all too well the negative, life-changing challenges, what effect they can have, especially on community college students who are juggling often enough jobs, families, finances, health issues, taking care of children, taking care of parents, transportation, you name it, our students face those challenges on a day in and day out basis. The Center's services, including programs like the Family Economic Security Program, are vitally important. FESP helps them with financial emergencies that otherwise might derail their educations. In classic Lindy strategic thinking, she wanted a student to start off our speaking program this evening, to remind us of the real reason we are here. And that reason is to serve and to support our students. So I would like to introduce Kelsey Snedeker, a Gateway alumna who benefited from our FEST program and who has a compelling story to tell. Kelsey?
I am very proud and thankful to be standing here today to share my journey with you all, and be so thankful for the funding received by Ms. Gold. Starting with where I came from. I was adopted by excellent parents, as I did not know my birth father, but did know my mother, who had severe mental illnesses and could not care for me. I am a single mother who graduated high school 10 days after having my daughter. While in the hospital, after I had my daughter, an obstacle came up and I was unable to attend University of New Haven. I then applied to Gateway, and right then and there my life changed. I became a mother and continued my educational journey. In October of 2019, I was continuing my success at Gateway, and something so unexpected occurred. I lost my adoptive mother. This changed my world. I had to figure out how to take care of my daughter. I had to figure out how to make it to class. I had to figure out how to work, but with the help of Family Economic Security Program, the staff and counselors helped me through it all. As I said earlier, my mother's death was very unexpected. I was so upset because we needed to pay for her cremation costs. I expressed my troubles to my FEST counselor, and she suggested that I apply for emergency funding through the FEST Helping Hands program. I was so thankful when I heard I was receiving support to help with my mother's memorial. I honestly do not know where I would be today without FEST. 8 months after my adoptive mom passed away, my birth mother passed away. When I knew I needed someone to talk to, I knew it would be a FEST counselor, as they made me feel comfortable. FEST has helped me in so many ways, not only with my educational path, but also learning about myself, my strengths, and much more. With the help of FEST and my determination, I graduated May 2021 with my associate's degree. On behalf of all Gateway students, especially FEST students, I want to personally thank Ms. Gold for this important gift. FEST is an awesome program, and this will help more students get through difficult times that may come up and help students with emergency needs. Right now in my journey, I am currently attending the University of Bridgeport, pursuing my bachelor's degree in human services. I just lost my father in February from COVID, so I am still grieving. FEST taught me to never give up and keep pursuing your dream. Once again, on behalf of all Gateway students, thank you.
If you don't know, you better ask somebody. You are who we are. Thank you for sharing your story. Congratulations on what you have already achieved, and we look forward to what you will. You are an amazing story of resilience and strength and courage, and it is our privilege to be part of that story. Thank you. If anything else needs to be said. Next time we might have to have the student go last instead of first. I don't know. We'll talk about that. Because of this gift from the Amour Propre Foundation, Gateway will be able to help more hardworking students like Kelsey today, tomorrow, and for decades to come. I like to say in continuity and perpetuity. We are enormously grateful, Lindy, for this opportunity. It is my honor tonight to co-chair this event with the Gateway Community College Foundation, some of our most steadfast supporters, and I have the distinct pleasure of asking the chair of the foundation board and a wonderful leader, Helene Augustine, to come and make brief remarks. Helene?
Thank you, Dr. Brown. And I join you in welcoming everyone to today's reception and ribbon cutting for the Amour Propre Fund, LindyLee Gold, Center for Counseling and Wellness. And thank you, Kelsey, recounting your journey to success and self-sufficiency, which began here at Gateway Community College. As chair of the Gateway Community College Foundation Board, I'm so gratified to hear that the time and effort that we put forth have a real impact on our students and their futures. These student stories and successes fuel and energize the Foundation Board to continue the work that they do. Well, what can I say about Lindy? Relax, it's all good. You can read about Lindy's many achievements and accomplishments in your programs. What those words don't accurately convey, however, is her deep commitment to her values and her beliefs, her enormous capacity for hard work, and her steadfast dedication to causes and people whom she champions. I've known Lindy for many years and have served on boards with her in the past. However, when I first joined the Foundation Board here in 2012, I came to look upon Lindy as a mentor. For me, she personified the concept of a true servant leader, someone who focuses on the growth and well-being of the people and communities to which they belong rather than to accumulate power and influence. She truly has been a role model for me and to me, and she sets the bar very high for those who follow in her footsteps as board members and leaders. When I first became board chair, I would often think to myself, WWLD, what would Lindy do? Listen, participate, think outside the box, and look beyond what's in front of you. And those are just a few things that Lindy has taught me personally. What Lindy has done here, especially as a long-serving board member and in helping secure the remarkable funding for Gateway's Counseling and Wellness Center, will be a lasting legacy for generations to come. I recently came across this quote: "If your actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to become more, you are a leader." For me, that says all anyone needs to know about LindyLee Gold. Thank you, Lindy, and enjoy this celebration of you.
Thank you, Helene. What can I say about our next speaker except that we all adore her? She gives back to her community far more than many other people, and in the halls of GCC, she is known as our Gateway Lion. Please join me in welcoming Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro.
Thank you so much. What an honor for me to be invited here tonight at this event. First, I just may say, Dr. Brown, that you're always so wonderful and effusive in your generosity and introduction, and I'm so proud to be a part of the Gateway community. And I'll tell you, I'm so glad to be in this room. It was in November of 2021, Lindy, that I was really honored. It was just a magnificent evening, and something so special that I will not ever forget it, when I was given the Gateway Community Award, the Lion Award, etc. Sometimes people think I roar too much, but in every case, I thank you for the wonderful, beautiful award that you all gave to me, but the warmth, the love that I was so infused with that evening, and that remains such a high point in my life and in my professional career. And Kelsey, I think Dr. Brown said it well, you are what we are. Your story it really is the power of what we can do if we set out to do something. And yes, if now and again we have a helping hand to help us get there and so forth. So congratulations to you and what you are doing, my dear. to Helene Augustine and members of the board of directors of Gateway Community College. I've had the pleasure of working with all of you, and I'm so grateful for your leadership. For almost 20 years, the foundation, through its board's outstanding leadership, has made all the difference for students here at Gateway, whether through its sponsorships, faculty and staff development, providing instructional program development, technology, the equipment. The foundation really has excelled in its mission of supporting Gateway and supporting Gateway's students. Through all of these efforts, you have ensured that the doors of opportunity, that's when you open those doors, if the doors of opportunity are there for young people to be able to pursue their dreams and their aspirations. You are an inspiration to me. You fuel my own determination to do what I can do as well. And today it is a privilege to join you all to celebrate a longtime Gateway Community College Foundation board member, one of its former chairs, a visionary philanthropist, a tireless volunteer for causes and organizations that she is passionate about, a dear friend, a sister, LindyLee Gold. Lindy is the president of the Amour Propre Fund. Self-esteem. That's what it stands for. It's self-esteem. It's what people can realize, and confidence of who they are and what they can accomplish. It's a private charitable organization headquartered in the city of New Haven. Generosity provided that $250,000 gift to enhance the services in which Gateway Community College's counseling and wellness center at its state-of-the-art downtown campus. You know, Lindy Gold and I, we have a long history, and we have real family ties. I don't know that anyone knows this, but Marvin Gold, Lindy's dad, and my mom, Louisa DeLauro, sat on the Board of Finance in the city of New Haven, 1978, 79, and 80. And her mom, Annette, you know, her parents were professional lawyers, but took an interest in what was happening in their community, whether or not it was low-income housing, whether it was social services, where they could be engaged and involved. They were there. And it was, being on the Board of Finance, I see Mayor Elliker, that is no picnic, you know, in a city. And I will tell you, and you know, you have to listen to Marvin and listen to my mother, get into it with one another and so forth, but they gave of their time, their effort, their love to a community that they felt that they owed a moral responsibility to. And Lindy has often described herself, she talked about social justice was but in her DNA. And that comes from her folks. It's not something contrived. That was what she grew up with. That was what she was about. And that is what the legacy of her family what is all about. And it's a Jewish principle, and I'm sure I don't have the pronunciation right, it's tikkamolam, you know. How about that? Was that all right, Lynn?
Close enough for government work.
Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I got my blessing here. So, you know, to be a part of the world, to be a part of the world. And so I know that I joined the foundation when I say we look forward to seeing how this funding is helping to college to maximize its work on behalf of students. One thing is clear, the Counseling and Wellness Center will be better equipped in providing important professional support services, personal, career, financial, and academic coaching. And we cannot thank Lindy enough for this generous gift. But it doesn't come as any surprise to anyone who knows Lindy. Senior specialist with the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development, she has dedicated her professional career to expanding opportunities for residents. There are few members of the New Haven community have been more involved with the city's many facets than Lindy. Her foray into public service began with an appointment to the New Haven's Board of Education. That's a tough job, almost a no-win job to be on the Board of Education. Vice Chair of the Intergroup Relations Task Force, won election to 2 terms on the Board of Alders, representing the 26th Ward. She served as the Legislation Committee and as a member of the Finance Committee. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree here. So her commitment, as you know, and it's already been explained, is extraordinary. A legacy of service which serves as an inspiration to so many, including myself. Advocate, and as Helene said, mentor and friend. Wherever she goes, she makes an impact. Her endless energy and dedication make all the difference. And like so many others here, I consider myself very fortunate to call her my friend. And I am so thrilled to have been invited and have the opportunity to thank you, LindyLee Gold, on this very, very special day. Thank you again for inviting me. Thank you to Amour Propre, and what a well-deserved honor for you. And you know, I would just very quickly end with a quote that is so important to me, and it's the quote of Shirley Chisholm, who was the first African-American woman to serve in the United States House of Representatives. And she says that public service is the price you pay for space on this earth. And Lindy, you have paid this price over and over and over again.
Between Lindy and Rosa and so many people in this room, I'm not going to say this too often or too loud. My boss, President Coley, is here, and I tell him how hard I work and all of that, but really, I might have the best job in the whole system, so don't let him know that. Rosa, thank you so much. And next, it is my pleasure to introduce and ask to the podium another champion for our communities and for our colleges, and that is our Lieutenant Governor, Susan Bysiewicz. Please.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. And shout out to my girlfriend. Hang on, Rosa, just one sec. Because, ladies and gentlemen, she is our fairy godmother of federal funding, responsible for bringing $7 billion to Connecticut. Thank you, Rosa. You know, we're all friends with Rosa, and we just feel like she's one of our girlfriends, but she is the head of the appropriations in the United States Congress. Thank you, fairy godmother Rosa DeLauro. Sorry, the governor and I are just so thrilled with our federal delegation and our congressional delegation led by Rosa. She is just truly amazing. Now, in my day job at the Capitol, Kelsey Snedeker, I look at 36 state Senate chairs. 9 of them have women. So if you do the math out of 36, right, that's just about a quarter. We need way more, and I'm going to keep a seat warm for you there. A future leader. And thank you for telling that incredibly amazing story, which gets me to why I believe this college is called Gateway Community College. Because it is a gateway to success, right? It helps students be successful. And how does it do that? Because this kind of gets to Lindy's gift and to how the college operates. It's the community that takes the students and wraps around each of them to make sure that they are successful. So, I don't know, Mr. President, but that was my thought for why it's called what it's called. What do you think? All right. Okay. Well, I'm so happy to be here to say a few words about my friend Lindy. And in our day jobs in state government, she's at the Department of Economic and Community Development, and she spends her time helping entrepreneurs, businesses that are small, medium, and large be successful. And she knows how to do that because she's done it herself. And she just is an incredible advocate for entrepreneurs, especially women entrepreneurs, which is why I see so many successful women business owners right here. And she is also very passionate about making sure entrepreneurs of color are successful, because she knows that if you support and lift up women-owned businesses, you lift up families, you lift up communities, you lift up our state. She's also very passionate about education, and I think it's because, like a lot of us, she comes from an immigrant family where education is everything, right? Education is how you become successful for your family, for your community, and beyond. And with that comes the obligation of helping others succeed. So that's why Lindy is just such an incredible inspiration to me. And I joke about her because every time I come to New Haven, it doesn't matter, and Mayor, you'll give me an amen or not, I go to a community event, a government event, a business event, and there she is. And so I say, if you don't know Lindy Gold in the New Haven area, you need to get out more, right? Because let me tell you, she will help you be successful in whatever it is. And I just love talking to her because she can give government leaders advice, she gives business leaders advice, she gives educational institutions advice and nonprofits advice, and the list just goes on. So, Lindy, thank you for your generosity, for your friendship to all of us. The governor and I are just so incredibly grateful for the service that you give here in New Haven, to the college, to so many organizations. You just are an inspiration, a dear friend, and we're just so grateful for you. And Gateway Community College, how lucky are you? You have amazing students, and it's just going to help all the other Kelseys out there to be very successful, and I can't wait to see what they do. And Lindy, it's because of you. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. We appreciate your coming, and please give our best regards to Governor Lamont, who is also a tremendous supporter of this college and all of our colleges, so we appreciate your leadership. Just a small story. I'm not just saying this because she's here and she's the Lieutenant Governor. Very soon after I got here, I was in a briefing and a Zoom meeting and everything, and she talked about the colleges up and down, and I was sitting there thinking, like, she knows more about this than I do. And so I had to get up to speed very quickly. So she is very much sincere and very much understanding of what we're doing, and thank you, thank you. Next, our mayor knows what the rest of us also understand, that Lindy is everywhere, and we are lucky that she lives in New Haven. Mayor Elliker, you have also been a wonderful friend to Gateway, one of the first people who reached out to me when I was appointed, and has been a constant supporter of what we're doing here and our students. And to Lindy, please come and say a few words.
It's good to be here. How's everyone doing? This is the, I think, the first time I've had a spit guard in front of the podium, which is unusual and new. I'm just imagining that maybe it was you, Dr. Brown, that was very animated, and some staff member was like, we need to get that man a piece of glass. So you're all safe here. You're all safe. And Lindy, I was going to have the honor of sitting next to you until Rosa stole my seat. I'm glad that she's feeling better. So, a historical moment here tonight. A historical moment because of the investment that you have made to secure this wellness center for the future. It is also a historical moment because this is the wellness center with the longest name in the entire nation. The Amour Propre Fund, Lindy, and it also has a forward slash, or backward slash. It's probably the only backward slash, or wellness center that has a backward slash in the name too. We lost this week a member of our community, a 17-year-old named Kieran Jones, and I was sitting down thinking of today when I was at Hill House High School. Kieran was a Hill House high school student, and he was an A student. From the stories that I heard from his mom and dad, his cousin, the person that, a relative of his that he lived with, he was headed to college. He was on the right track, and he was shot earlier this week, and then the next morning died of his wounds. And at Hill House, I met with a group of, I don't know, maybe it was 30 or 40 students. And the students were sharing with Superintendent Dr. Tracy and me their concerns, their needs, their emotions. And almost every student brought up mental health and wellness as what they need. And it was brought up in a very direct way of saying we need more direct support in mental health. But it was also brought up in many of the different stories they shared. Believe it or not, we're locking the bathrooms in a lot of our public schools now because we've had people getting into fights in the schools, and you have to have individuals go in one by one because of the fights. And you've seen this around the nation of the struggles that our young people are going through right now that are because they lack the kind of mental health and wellness support that helps them get through one of the most challenging times I think we all have seen in our lives. And so you, Lindy, have made that commitment clear in your investment here, because we all need this kind of support, but particularly individuals that have come from a background, come from an environment that makes it more difficult for them to succeed. And you've recognized that part of education is providing the support that creates the environment where someone can succeed. And that critical step allows them to succeed in their education and allows them to succeed in their life. Lindy, you are poised. I called her earlier on, she answered the phone, yes, dear. You are elegant, and you are the epitome of public servant in everything you do. We are grateful for you and what you have done today and what you do throughout your entire life. Thank you, Lindy.
You all have not seen me animated until you come to commencement. So I'm just saying we might have to have a spit guard there because it is going to be a celebration of so many of our students. I keep going back to you, Kelsey. You are the reason you're here. You know, Mayor Ellicott, you were right on target. One of the things that we have said often is that our students here at Gateway, and really at all of our community colleges, are second to none. They are perfectly capable of meeting our expectations, but however high our expectations, our support of them needs to be at that same level. And so part of that support here at Gateway is our counseling and wellness staff. So I'd like to just take a moment and ask you all to just stand and be recognized. Come on, come on. They didn't know I was going to do that. That wasn't in the program. They sit in these offices and they're all confidential and everything. But I'm the CEO, too bad. You all need to be not only recognized but congratulated for the work that you all do every day and thanked. So thank you, and glad you all are here. As many of you know, Gateway has an amazing automotive program, and it's housed in North Haven, right up the road. I want to take this opportunity to thank First Selectman Freda, there you are, for your many years of support of our college, acknowledge his deep friendship with LindyLee, and ask him to come up and give some brief remarks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Brown. I was so thrilled and delighted and honored to be invited here this evening. As many people may not be aware, that both Gateway Community College and LindyLee Gold have had a tremendous and profound impact on me both personally and professionally. From a professional standpoint, Gateway Community College, we were the host community for many years for the full curriculum. And we were so proud of the city of New Haven with the transformation here when Gateway moved in several years ago. We're very proud of our automotive program. And I've seen clearly from a professional standpoint the impact that this wonderful institution has had on shaping the lives of young men and women throughout all of our communities. Personally, my daughter graduated from the Gateway Nursing Program. And one of my greatest thrills was giving one of the commencement speeches at Wolseley Hall with my daughter in the audience. LindyLee Gold, both personally and professionally, has once again had such a profound effect on me. From a personal standpoint, we hit it off right away when I first took office. And I immediately saw the wonderful institutional knowledge that she had on such a comprehensive level on all economic activity throughout the state of Connecticut. She was one of my go-to people. I spent a lot of time on economic development, and she has had a great impact on me personally with her collaboration, with her communication, and with her sage advice down through the years. And professionally, some of the things and projects that we've worked on together have manifested themselves into positive outcomes for the town of North Haven. Lindy, I can't tell you, words cannot describe how much you've meant to me personally in North Haven, right from the beginning. The class, the dignity, the way you've conducted yourself, the impact that you've made on so many people, including myself, I'll never forget it. So as we look back together, we look back with admiration on the impact that both Gateway and LindyLee have had on so many people down through the years. And as we look forward, we celebrate this lasting and enduring legacy with this wonderful combination of the marvelous LindyLee Gold and the marvelous Gateway Community College coming together. I'm grateful to be here. Lindy, on behalf of the town of North Haven, we love you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, First Selectman Freda. Would like to I mentioned him before, but formally acknowledge Dr. Thomas Coley, President of the Shoreline West region that includes Gateway, Housatonic, and Norwalk Community Colleges. He actually served in the interim capacity before I was appointed, but his leadership, not only at this college, but throughout the region, has been nothing short of remarkably effective, and we and the other CEOs very, very much appreciate your example. Again, it takes this whole village, but we're trying to let people go home in a reasonable amount of time. But we would be remiss if we did not ask our system president, Terrence Chang, to come and provide his thoughts on this occasion. So, there you are. All right, come on.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. I have my notes on my phone. I'm not checking texts or email, for the record. I want to start by just thanking Dr. Brown and Dr. Coley and all of you. All right, this is the second time I've made remarks at Gateway. It's the second time I'm making them up on the fly, more or less, much to the chagrin of my team that always wants me to be prepared, but it is what it is. The New Haven community, so I worked in Fairfield County for 5.5 years, and I'm learning more and more about the entire state. And what I love about Gateway and what I love about New Haven is that you show up and you show out every time, right? And that says a lot. It says a lot about Dr. Coley and his leadership, it says a lot about Dr. Brown and his leadership, but it says a lot about all of you as community folks and as leaders in your communities, right? And so give yourselves a round of applause, please, because it really does take all of us to do that. It takes all of you to do that. There's so many supporters for our institutions. You all are supporters of this institution, but when you support Gateway, you support the entire CSU system, and that's something that we certainly do not take for granted. The Gateway Community College team, our mental health professionals, but everyone who does the work here every single day. You know, it's a little bit of a broken record for folks who, on our team, who hear me speak here and there. It's noble, but it's inglorious work, right? We don't say thank you enough. We don't say I appreciate you enough. We don't say, hey, you're doing a great job enough, because we're so darn busy, because we're doing the work, right? But at the end of the day, the work doesn't get done unless there are folks like that who are doing it, you know, and they're literally affecting lives and saving lives every day, whether it's mental health or academic affairs, teaching in the classroom, giving great advisement, all those things. So that's number one. Number two, the foundation is essentially one of the organs of this institution. All of you on the foundation who give back, who give yourselves personally, but also who do all the volunteer work, put in the hours, you're instrumental to our work. We literally cannot do certain things without you. And so we're deeply appreciative. I am deeply appreciative of all that you do. You know, Kelsey's going to start getting a little bit of a big head with everybody. I'm kidding. So she's the kind of person who will never get a big head. And that's what's beautiful and magical about someone like her, right? Is that she is all about persevering. And I'm awed by you. I'm awed by your story. I'm awed by your tenacity to persevere and to ultimately to succeed. You are a role model. You're the reason why we do what we do in higher education, in public higher education. I need to be very clear about that. In public higher ed, where we literally will provide service for some students who may not be able to access education without us. That is something we take great pride in, and when we see you and hear you and feel your presence and see your success in life, that just amplifies our work even more. And so we're incredibly touched and motivated by that, and I'm really touched by how vulnerable and how generous you are with your story, and it's powerful, right? And all of us in this room felt it. All of us in this room know that that's the power, you know, so thank you for that. You are absolutely a role model, and you are influencing and you're motivating people by just doing what you do. Okay, so you just keep doing that. So I have to tell you a little bit about Lindy, and I met her when I was in Stanford, and I liked her right away, because there was just a thing there. Couldn't quite put my finger on it at first, and then you talk to her more, and you talk to her more, and you realize that she is not just honest, not just tough, but she's fearless. She is absolutely fearless, and she's honest in a way that you know that whether you like what she has to say or whether you don't like what she has to say, she's going to say it, and that's good. That's a good thing, because how many times have we sat back and we said, oh gosh, you know, I don't want to blow up the room if I say this, because I think about myself, or I think about others, or I think about repercussions or domino effects. And this is a person that ultimately says the truth matters more than what I may ultimately have to deal with, right? She knows how to just say what she has to say because she has to say it. This gift that benefits mental health, we know it's important, but as higher education professionals who work with all kinds of folks, young folks, mid-career folks, older folks, it's so important because it's going to serve so many people. It's going to help so many people. It's going to help folks like Kelsey, but it's going to help even more folks down the road. I mean, specifically, we know now after 2 years of the pandemic how fragile mental health is, how fragile society is. And I'll be honest, I'm really worried about our students. I'm really worried about a lot of folks, right? You see it just driving around New Haven or Hartford or anywhere else these days. There's a lot of extra stuff going on. We got to be careful. There are reasons for that. And this mental health counseling team and this unit and these resources are going to help us. They're going to help young people, and they're going to help folks get to a better place. And that is a gift that really is invaluable. Because I firmly believe that we are tasked with this responsibility to work for institutions that will ultimately outlive us. Gateway Community College is going to be here for a long time. And that's right, absolutely. The institution that outlives you, we are responsible for continuing that evolution, that trajectory. And this generosity, this philanthropy, this vision, this investment is not just for now, but it's for the future. Right? And it's for not just Kelsey and the ones who come after her, but it's all the folks who will come after her for year after year after year and so forth. It's an investment in people, it's an investment in communities, and it's an investment in all the things that we hold dear to have a society that lets us do the things that we do. So I can't thank you enough. You're a straight shooter, you're someone I cherish. I know I can trust you. I know that you do things for the right reasons at the right times. And I can't ask for any more than that. We can't ask for any more than that. Congratulations. This is so well deserved. Thank you.
Thank you, President Chang. The Community Foundation for Greater New Haven continues to grow and give even more support for our community. For Gateway, their partnership has been life-changing for our students. When we honored LindyLee this fall for our Hall of Fame event, Will Ginsburg eloquently spoke in a video about this woman of multiple decades. Everyone's Lindy. Please welcome Will Ginsburg to the podium.
Good evening. Good evening. It's nice to see you all. It's nice to see you all in person. I see so many friends here tonight I've only seen on a little corner of a Zoom screen for 2 years. It's really a treat. One of them said to me, recognized me with my mask on and said, "You've never looked better." I said, "You mean because I have a mask on?" And you take your compliments where you can find them, I suppose. It is a great pleasure for me to be here tonight, to be with you all, to be in the company of this incredibly distinguished group of speakers, and in particular, and most of all, to pay tribute to my friend, our inspiration, Lindy Gold. And her latest act of extraordinary philanthropic leadership in this community in creating the Amour, Propre, LindyLee Gold Center for Counseling and Wellness. So I congratulate Gateway Community College and Dr. Brown on this new center, and thank Lindy profusely for that generosity. The center is a vital addition to Gateway, as you've heard. It's a vital addition to our community, providing services that have never been more needed to support Gateway students to succeed. I won't repeat what's been said, other than to say that Gateway is so critical to preparing residents of our community to meet the challenges of our time, to have a place in the economy of Greater New Haven in the 21st century. And these services, these counseling and mental health services, are, as part of a larger group of wraparound services through FESP, are absolutely essential to the success of these students, as we've heard tonight from Kelsey and from other speakers. This need has only been accentuated over the last 2 years in this time of COVID, and so this is not only a fantastic gift for this college and this community, it is perfectly timed. I'm proud that the Community Foundation has supported Gateway's strategy of wraparound services now for several years. We made a 3-year grant in 2018 to support FESP, and we followed that with a 2-year grant last year for FESP. So this has been a priority of ours. This has been a priority of ours going back now for 4 years. And I'm even prouder tonight because we are now in partnership with the Amour Propre Foundation, the Amour Propre Fund, in supporting Gateway's work in this area. So Lindy. Lindy is the quintessential community person in our community. I'm in the business of community, and I can say that Lindy is the quintessential community person in our community. She is indeed everywhere. She is indeed involved in everything. She connects, she's a connector, she's connecting, and I think probably everyone in this room can attest to that. And in fact, when you think about what is community, and I think about it all the time because I run the Community Foundation, it is about connection. It's about connecting people to one another. It's about connecting people to this place. It's about connecting people to the issues and opportunities and challenges that we have in common. And no one is more of a connector than LindyLee Gold. She's an inspiration to all of us. And now, with the Amour Propre Fund, she is also one of this community's greatest philanthropists. Just one other thing I want to say. It says in our program that the Amour Propre Fund, charitable organization, etc., the French term amour propre means self-esteem. And I understand that, and I don't take issue with it, but I was taught a long time ago that amour means love. Or, as it's sometimes said in New Haven, amore. I was going to check my pronunciation with Rosa, but she had to leave. But amour, amore, means love, and which is so appropriate, because Lindy loves this community deeply, and Lindy, our community, I love you deeply, our community loves you deeply. So I thank you, LindyLee Gold, I thank you, Gateway Community College, I thank you all. Thank you very much.
And we thank you, Will, and the Community Foundation. I'm going to go off program for just one more second. Many of you have heard this. My wife is a New Havener and a Gateway alumna. But that's not why I'm mentioning this. I know firsthand, even if I don't say it often enough, the sacrifices that family makes so that we can do the things that we do. So I'll just slide this in for just a second. Sweetheart, thank you. But the reason I bring this up is because I know for a fact, we haven't talked about it, but I know for a fact that Lindy could not do what she does. We're here to honor her and and recognize her and thank her for what she has done and is doing for Gateway. But as you've probably gathered, her advocacy and her activism stretches up and down the state and beyond. And I know for a fact, without even having to talk to anybody, that you could not do what you do if it were not for the support of your family. So I just want to take a moment and acknowledge all of you for your support of Lindy. And I have no doubt that if she's been any kind of influence, you all are doing your thing to make a difference. Thank you for being you, and thank you for being who you are to her. All right, when we were planning the event for this afternoon, LindyLee specifically requested that Garrett Sheehan give remarks. Garrett is the Chief Executive Officer and President of the Greater New Haven and Quinnipiac Chambers of Commerce. It's not New Haven, okay, I just had to say that. At Gateway, we place great value on our partnership with the Chamber, and Garrett has been another one of those folks who has been a magnificent supporter of the college in so many ways. So Garrett, would you come and share a few, there you are, a few remarks and perspectives.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. When you're at the end of such a distinguished list of speakers, you really have to pay attention to what everyone's saying. And as I was sitting there, I was like, this is kind of like a fireworks show, which is like Lindy, in that, you know, Kelsey got us started off with such a bang at the beginning, and then we had our elected officials, and if you were watching fireworks at a midpoint, you might think, well, maybe this is the finale. But, you know, it was one of those really great midpoint shows, and now you're down to me, and I'm where they're firing off just one firework every minute, and you're like, well, this has been a great program, lots of great fireworks. I wonder if it's going to come to an end. I promise the finale is coming. Lindy is coming after me. But I really am so honored, Lindy, that you asked me to speak. And it actually is very easy for me to talk about Lindy and everything she has meant, because my 15 years in economic development in Connecticut have intersected with Lindy at every point. When I first was at UI doing economic development, that's when I first met Lindy, and we were both really excited about every time there's a prospect and how are we dealing with business and engaging with business and making sure that they're considering Connecticut as the place to be, to expand, to grow here. When I later worked at Eversource, and I remember a storm in 2017, Lindy had my number and she was calling me to make sure that the power was back on to these specific businesses that were on day 7 without power, and she was not as happy as other times we've talked. And then we come to working at the Chamber, and as soon as I walked in the door at the Chamber, who was there but Lindy, and not just the first day that I came to the Chamber, but every day in our committees, the Expo committee, every committee that we have, every event that we have, Lindy's there, and not to support me, but to support business and growth for all of Connecticut. And I think of what she's doing now, and I go around talking about workforce development, and all of our employers need employees and workers, but it's not easy. And so to be able to get more workers, more talented people, more people into jobs, they need additional support, and that's what you're doing, Lindy, with this gift. So thank you for everything you do to all the workers and employees in Connecticut. We're going to benefit from this. Thank you for everything you've done for Connecticut, for New Haven. Thank you for all the support. We really appreciate it.
New Haven, North Haven, Bridgeport, Norwalk, Hartford, for all I know, Coventry, Willimantic. Not Coventry? Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. I have a feeling you're being too modest. I told you everything that you were going to hear about Lindy would be true, but you need to multiply that exponentially to get a true sense of this force of nature called LindyLee Gold. Lindy, thank you for the generous gift of the soon-to-be-named Amour Propre LindyLee Gold Center for Counseling and Wellness at Gateway Community College. Thank you for the extraordinary gifts of your time, talent, and treasure in support of the college, the foundation, our communities, and most especially our students, who are and always will be at the core of what we do. I think Mayor Elicker said it first, and President Chang said it again. Thank you, gentlemen, for stealing something I was going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. We're not going to talk about this like it's a gift. And we're not going to talk about it like it's a donation. And we're not going to talk about this like it's a contribution. What you have done is an investment. An investment in our students' future, actually their present and their future. An investment that will change their lives forever. Please join me in welcoming this magnificent, magnificent woman, LindyLee Gold, to the stage.
Thank you. Those of you who know me well know that I would celebrate a raindrop hitting a windowsill. But today is really a special day for Gateway and for our community. This occasion isn't about me, but about the work that we have done together toward the highest goal of Gateway Community College, the goal of student success. Where we are today is because of your generosity of time and treasure devoted to our students. We are in this magnificent location because of the support of the then Mayor John DeStefano, our state legislative delegation, our beloved Rosa, and the Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce, who recognize the importance of our students to this business community. To look at where we were on Longworth and in North Haven, in a building that was certainly not reflective of the esteem in which we hold our students and their value, to looking at this magnificent facility that we have today is just mind-boggling. For years, many of you have provided scholarships, equipment, supplies, expertise, and capital contributions. I would ask for a moment that my fellow members of the foundation please stand up. Be recognized. When you talk about a group who cares about our students, know that when the pandemic hit, there was a sudden realization that over 300 students didn't have laptops at home, the technology that was needed for their success. The foundation quickly raised the funds and donated the funds, and then we called Mayor Mike Frieda. And we said, there are no laptops in the state of Connecticut. We need to buy 300 laptops. Can you hook us up with your connections at Amazon? He immediately did, and I don't know that he ever followed up to find out that we owe him big time because his connections across the country made it happen for the foundation and for our students who were able to complete the year and then the succeeding year. Without his help, we really could not have done it. So thank you, Mike. Some may consider our gifts to be philanthropy. I don't. I call it enlightened self-investment. It is not philanthropy to invest in communities that have been purposefully, historically, and currently disinvested. It's simply an act of justice. Almost 50% of our students are first-generation college enrollees. 22% are Black, 29% are Latino, and only 14% were able to enroll in their first year after high school graduation. 62% of our community college students attend part-time while working at least one full-time job. 40% need developmental education to prepare to take credit-bearing courses. This comes at an expense. And next year's forecast, due in part to the pandemic, is more grim. It was just reported that less than 1% of New Haven public high school students are performing at grade level in grades 11 and 12. Together, we will work to see even these students succeed. This is the very definition of inclusive economic growth. The greatest engines for social mobility are publicly funded community colleges and state universities. Most of the students come from households with income at the bottom 60%. We have provided access, diversity, and inclusion. It is now our particular challenge to provide equity. Getting admitted to college is important, but it's an incomplete objective. Students, schools, and communities all suffer negative consequences when individuals leave school before achieving a degree or a recognized professional credential. Our first major attempt was an initiative called FESP, the Family Economic Security Program. This isn't an overnight sensation. I've been involved with this program since it started, but it is the child of the Shoreline West Community College system. It started in Norwalk in 2008, and I have been with it through its time there, having expanded to Housatonic, and in 2018 to Gateway. The program targeted low and moderate income working students, particularly single women with children, in securing post-secondary educational degrees that lead to careers offering family-sustaining wages and benefits. Barriers are especially pronounced for those students to achieve marketplace credentials. The initial results of this high-touch program of academics, financial counseling, and peer support activities, scholarships, and emergency financial assistance, leveraged with other off-campus services, has shown incredible results. FESP students completed associate's programs in 3.1 years, as opposed to over a 5-year time frame for others, taking almost double the number of credits and earning higher GPA scores. FESP is truly a Shoreline project. Thanks for bringing it to New Haven, to the Greater New Haven Community Foundation, Wells Fargo, and the Carolyn Foundation. In Norwalk, it was also a community foundation that got it started. I would be remiss, too, not to thank the incredible faculty at Gateway, who at every step of the way works to save our students stress and financial obligations. I would call to your attention my colleague Mark Lynch, who's a professor here. He's on the board of the foundation as the faculty representative, and through our work on the faculty development grants, we have found ways to digitalize course materials so that students don't have to spend money on textbooks. Mark has found an ingenious system that has kept our students from even having to buy goggles for labs with a sanitizer, 15 minutes in between classes, whether they can't afford them, whether they've forgotten them. Mark has them in his classroom. It's really initiatives like this and the dedication of our faculty that supports our students in every way possible. Well, the results of FEST prompted Gateway to expand beyond the original target group, to offer supportive students to all of our students to ensure their student success. At Gateway, we have a mantra. Those of you who know it, please join me. It's nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. It's evident we care. The Center for Counseling and Wellness will help in our quest for systemic, sustainable change. Our students will break the cycle of poverty and create a new paradigm for not only themselves, but for their families for generations to come. Justice, equity, and student success. I think it's a winning formula. I'm truly privileged to do my part, and very grateful to you, Terry Brown, for affording me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Lindy, you actually told on yourself a little bit. You called it or tried to blame it on enlightened self-interest, but then you turn right around and you say, and I might have to quote this from time to time, this isn't philanthropy, this is an act of justice. So you just told on yourself. You just told who you are and told all of us who you are and what you're about. And we are so grateful and appreciative for everything you've done, not just this investment, not just this act of justice, but all of the things that you have done over many, 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 many years. Thank you so incredibly much. We are going to... So we have one more official duty to do, and that is to officially cut the ribbon. We are going to, not all of us, those of us who are cutting the ribbon are going to head down there. That will be streamed on the screens here, so you'll be able to see it. And then after that, we'll be back to finish enjoying each other's company and celebrating this wonderful, wonderful moment. So you all hang out. We will be right back, but enjoy the actual ribbon cutting for the Amour Propre Fund, LindyLee Gold Center for Counseling and Wellness.
In that corner, LPX door, Carol's walking people down.
waiting for a scissors. All right, now, everybody else fill in on either side. Okay, so yes. Yes, okay, so Ready? And 1, 2, 3. Yay!
Just wanted to do two more things. First of all, would be remiss if we did not acknowledge and thank Chris Pace for your service and making this a festive evening. Also, your refreshments were made by our culinary program. So our students, our faculty and staff there. Wave your hands. Wave your hands. Yeah, so we know who you are. And I don't think it's exaggerating at all to say that this evening would not have been possible without the really just amazing effort of Gateway's faculty and staff. I want to acknowledge Evie and her team. And Mary Ellen and the A-team. Y'all are getting pretty good at this. We're going to have to give you some more practice or something. And also wanted to let you all know that the Amour, Propre, LindyLee Gold Center for Counseling and Wellness, if you leave in 100, Here, you know what? Now you're all here. There we go. We have amazing and talented students all over the place. Thank you so much for everything you did for this evening. We really, really appreciate it. So, if you would like to see our new Center for Counseling and Wellness, if you leave N100 and go down this hallway all the way, make a right, it's right there around the corner. The staff is there to welcome you. Take a look and see what it is that we do here. Thank you all so incredibly much for being here. Thank you for the ways that you have supported the college and will support the college going forward into the future. Thank you all so much.